pretty good.
I'm just making sure y'all know that I was good. All right.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, this is the WBU, aka Wells Brothers United. I'm your host, Scene Wells, and these are my brothers, my family of champions. Octavian Wells, aka Octo, and Jonathan, Big Ten champ, state champ. You know, I just go, man. I'm just gonna end up mentioning everything. But before we get into that, I mean, you know, this month is predicated on personal growth, and we've all had that in our career. So even before we dive into that, we're gonna give a little bit of background about ourselves, and we're gonna dive into it. All right, what's up, T? What's up, T?
Man? What's going on?
What's up? What's give us a little bit about your background, man. Give us a little bit.
Well, my name is Octavian Wells. I go to Loyola University. I'm a junior, and I run track and field. I'm pretty fast, right?
Maybe.
Can't you say maybe?
Nah.
Maybe Jonathan can contest.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I'm lit. Yep.
Yeah, what do you run?
1, 2, and 4.
What do you think you could beat me at?
Well, maybe that could be on another topic, right?
Guys, I got the 60 meter. You know what I'm saying? I got the 60 meter. I got the time. I got the best time out of it. You gotta work. You gotta work hard to achieve anything.
Exactly.
So you know, we put a lot of effort in, but I made it out. 6'9", 6'9".
This guy can jump.
6'9" in the 60. And
Oh my God!
That makes me the quickest. That makes me the fastest in the family right now. So that argument
He's
is
not
look
even
on
lying.
T
He's not even
first.
lying.
That's all you need to do.
So we gonna get a T first now.
Hey, I got a fact check.
We can do that.
Y'all know what it is.
We can make a box score.
Y'all know what it is.
We can make a box score.
Y'all know what it is.
I mean, you play so many sports. You play so many sports. What's your favorite sport?
Man,
Was it track and field? Be honest. Was it hydro? Was it track and field?
At this point, you know, we gotta say, we feel like we gotta say track and field. But realistically, I didn't come in. Football was my favorite
Football
sport.
was my favorite sport. Yep.
Y'all know that. I was in there.
I'm not even gonna lie.
I was in there since what, Pee Wee?
Yeah.
And I've been
We was in there
over
since
10
Pee Wee.
years. Now you came in at flag football. You came in
No,
flag football.
I don't think he did that.
No,
he didn't do
You
that.
did. You did 1 week of practice.
I remember
You did 1 week of
that.
practice. You did 1 week of practice, and then you were like, I don't like this flag stuff. What's going away?
Oh yeah, because I wanted to go straight to tackle.
Yeah, you want to go straight to. So you waited a year, went to Bantam,
waited a year,
and went through all of it.
I went to Bantam. Yep. Yeah, he's right.
You know, I remember.
Right.
I remember. It was like yesterday.
Was it?
You know, it was. It was. Those were the days.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Putting little
And
kids on their backs.
Scene was, what was Scene doing? Scene was
like
playing
basketball.
soccer. No, I think you was
I mean,
playing
I
soccer
did a little
at the
bit of
beginning.
everything, man. I hated soccer because I
Ken
just
was
stood there,
cool.
watched the ball, ran after the ball, kicked it.
Too much.
It was not engaging. It wasn't engaging enough for me. Man.
Yeah.
But basketball, you know, I got the jump shot. You know, I got the dunks. You know, I got the defense.
No, I think
For
I'm the
sure.
best
I got everything.
player, right?
Stop it, dude. You had me on the cruise, and the floor was slippery. You like,
I do have to say that
bro.
my shot is weak. So I ain't gonna lie.
Yo,
my
what
shot
about
is
your
weak.
layups? What's your layup rating?
No, my layup fire. Don't even
Hey,
try
this
to
is
expose
a
me.
champion.
Don't even try to expose
Hey,
me.
this is a champion. We went through Gavin, and this man, tell him about your championship.
Hey, I was the 7th grade Gavin South champion. I think that was the first championship.
That was the first championship.
But you know what? We're humble, right?
Yeah.
We're Christians, right? We're gonna keep that, right?
What's your play? Did you play point guard?
Yeah, I did.
Hey,
Oh
let
my
the people
God.
know who wins those one-on-ones, though. Let the people know. Be honest here.
You trying to? Did he just say not to expose?
Be honest.
Hey,
Wow.
hey, we doing
You want me to be
everything.
honest?
WBU.
Yeah. He got the juice. He got the words.
I want all y'all to know.
People know out there. They know me.
Hey,
Okay.
I want y'all
You
to
know
know.
me.
You know what I'm saying? We have our off days and we have our on days. It's just when you're going against family, you gotta be on. You gotta be on. You know what it is.
dude.
Hey, I'm always on.
Bro, y'all be treating it like football though. You be trying to just dunk on every play, bro. I can't do that every time.
You gotta get physical.
Oh my god.
Yes,
You
sir.
gotta get physical. You gotta get the win.
Oh my gosh, bro.
At the end of the day, do we talk about the bruises and scrapes that you have? No, we talk about the dub that I have. That's all we talk about. And it's sad though, but it's so true. Is you gotta put yourself in a position to win. And so whether that's physical, aggressive, and whether I kind of transfer my football techniques onto the basketball court, it's what I need to do in order to grab the W, put myself in a position to win. And it was tight. Right?
Is that what you did
It
too?
was
Is
tough.
that what you did
Let
too,
him speak his
Tavian?
mind.
It
Let
wasn't
him speak
easy,
his mind.
right? I wasn't going 0 and 15 on you, but I just did what I needed to do to win. You know what I'm saying?
Gosh, bro.
Hey, man,
Don't do
he's a-
anything
he's
and
a-
everything.
he's a
Don't get me
winner.
wrong, but you know,
I mean, you
just give
basically
yourself
did
the
everything.
opportunity.
Wrestling. What? You say you did volleyball? I didn't even know you did volleyball.
I did volleyball, I
He
did
did
wrestling,
volleyball.
I did football, I did basketball, I did track and field.
That's crazy.
And I even joined the debate team. I did try out for golf one time. You know, that was
Really?
That was in high school, right?
It was in high school, but it was kind of it wasn't my thing. You know.
Is there any secret sports that you've done that
Man, I
we've left
did.
out?
I did wrestling, basketball, football, and I think I tried to do volleyball, but I didn't make the team, unfortunately. It wasn't because I wasn't good. It just that's for another conversation.
I actually,
Wow. I don't know what
But
conversation
I
that would be.
don't think I was tall enough.
I didn't even know that.
I don't think I was tall enough though.
you were kind of you didn't hit your growth spurt until high school. I don't think.
Well, you grew like what, 2 inches?
I think I've been this
That's how
height.
you
No.
different.
I
guess, yeah.
I think I've been this height
I
for
guess.
like a minute.
5'6" to 5'8", 5'4" to 5'6".
I guess.
5'2", 5'4".
I'm thinking like 6'2"
These
to
are big
6'4".
differences.
It's the big difference, bro.
'Cause you guys have always been tall. Like, you guys have always been tall. John has always been the tallest, right?
I feel like I've been the same height since I was a kid.
No, you have not been the same height since you were a kid.
I just feel like
if
that.
you were this height on the line,
I just feel
what are you
like
talking
that.
about?
No, I feel like honestly,
Yeah.
I feel like I've been the same height since
I just
freshman
feel
year
like
of high
that.
school.
Yeah.
I came out of high
because
school.
you always
I
tower
came out of high
everybody.
school 185, wrestling 185. Tate even said it the other day. He's like, "You wrestle 185?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I was shocked.
I
I ain't
wrestled
gonna lie, I was shocked.
185.
I ain't gonna lie.
You know, so I was with some big dogs. Not
Wow.
easy. You know, and we still did
185.
work. We still did work. We
I'm
worked what we
185.
had.
I'm 185.
You 185 right now?
Yeah, I'm 185 right now. What? Yesterday? Last week?
Man,
A month ago?
hey, he missed down there. I honestly, let me let the people know. I honestly have a lot of respect for
You
wrestling.
don't do that every time.
Do what? Hey, it's okay. But I tell you, talk a little bit about wrestling. You know, so you did that 1 year.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I did it in like 8th grade, and then I was in like the 125 weight class, and I was fairly skinny. I was fairly.
Was that after I did it? Or was it
No, I
before?
feel like I feel like I started it, and I'm not even lying. Like I feel like I started the trend, and then like I told you like 2 weeks. I told you like 2 weeks after, and I'm like, Jonathan, like we should do wrestling. But I remember like me being like so laser beam focused because I quit like basketball like my 8th
Wait,
grade
so you
to do
did?
wrestling.
Wait, you did wrestling in 8th grade year?
Yeah, that's when I started.
Well, you gotta understand that 8th grade I was a sophomore, right?
Yeah, but
no,
like,
wait. 8th grade I was a sophomore. I started sophomore
What's your
year.
points?
Your season doesn't start until after winter break, and mine starts during winter break. So you must.
You talking about
if
from
I'm-
middle school?
If I'm doing the math, yeah, 8th grade. I'm a sophomore. I started my sophomore year, and then winter break doesn't end until and then I start during. I had to wrestle during winter break. I remember I was in class with my boy at the time, and I was like, man, let's do wrestling. And he's like, you know what? If you do it, I'll do it. And I was like, that's enough for me to do it. So
Facts.
we did it, and at the time, my teacher was Coach Geis, and his name was Mr. Geis.
Yeah.
And I told him, he thought I was joking. He thought I was a joke. So all this wrestling stuff
You do play sarcasm,
started off
though.
as a joke to a lot of people, and I couldn't let it. I couldn't go. So I did it. I committed. I was undefeated during JV. Then I had my big debut. Unfortunately, my brother missed it. Unfortunately, my brothers missed it. It was crazy.
What do you think led to like most of your wins? Like, do you think like you knew like all the techniques, or do you
No,
think it was just
no,
like pure
definitely
like
not.
athleticism?
I was completely ignorant in the
Pure
sport.
athleticism.
I was completely ignorant. I did have athleticism, but don't get me wrong. Right fighting does not have to do with how big or tall you are.
Oh my gosh.
It's about
Strength and size
three
is
things.
key. First
is.
of all, strength and
It
size
does-
is key.
it is a
Don't act like it
variable.
don't matter. Okay?
It is a
Beef up.
variable. It is a variable, but it isn't end all be all. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
There's two
gosh.
critical things that you need. You need that mental capabilities to understand where you're at, who you're going against, and the advantages and disadvantages. And you need that technique. And what I didn't have, that athletic ability helped. Being athletic, being physical, being strong. But at the end of the day, I wasn't that technical. So if I got, for example, right, my first big match,
Okay.
I was at Antioch. I went against, he was an all-state guy. And no one had their
Oh,
money.
your
on
heart
me.
was pumping?
Even before my match, the coach was like, hey, don't get pinned. This is not how you get pinned. We just need a couple points. So they were coaching me up to
I feel
to
that.
decrease the loss. You know what I'm saying? Because you lose more points if you get pinned, and then you lose a certain amount of points if you like just last the whole match. And so they just said, don't get pinned and we'll win this. And I said, no, I'm going for the win. And so I put myself in some risky positions.
Did you win by points?
Yeah, I won by points. Okay. We went up to high. We went like 14,
what was the score to that?
15.
Did you
it was like 15-14.
Oh, wow.
No, it was close.
Oh my God.
People were yelling. People were screaming. I was tired.
You just used to
that was my first varsity match too.
You just used to that.
Yeah, I think I missed that one too.
A lot of endurance.
So what did it teach? What did it teach you? I mean, y'all both did. I never did wrestling, so I feel like every sport teaches you something different.
It does.
So
I remember
let's go through it. Let's go through it. What did wrestling
teach you? Wrestling, you know, I wanted to quit because it was so hard. Like, because you would live wrestle and then you would go to conditioning and then, you know, I'm like, I don't know if I can handle all this, but then I stuck with it like for 2 weeks or something like that, and I just loved it because I just love like being aggressive. You know, I'm an aggressive dude. You know what I'm saying? So. No, it's cool.
But we aggressive. I feel like that what we got from football.
It taught me like mental strength too.
Yeah,
I feel like from that football state we got that aggressive
move.
Facts.
Honestly, football puts you in an aggressive state. When I was taking people out.
Well, me, like, football is different because I like just running and scoring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So as long as I got blockers and I'm scoring, like, that was my thing. Like, I wasn't really a defensive guy.
Well, I was defense.
Why didn't you guys like basketball then?
Because I wasn't, like, coordinated. I mean, like, basketball is different. Like, there's a lot of, like, different...
Yeah, that's why I liked it because you could be aggressive, but then you had that nice little flavor, that finesse to it. You just couldn't go in there.
It's very simple.
Right.
You know, like, we didn't spend that much
learn
time.
How to control yourself.
We didn't spend that much time as a family, as brothers, playing the sport of basketball. The sport of basketball depends on how many reps you take and the consistency of how much you train in that sport.
True.
So if you don't have those initial natural cues in the sport, when you start 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, you're going to look a little awkward. You're going to feel a little uncomfortable. You're going to be a little uncoordinated because you've never really done that. And so dribbling a ball, that isn't just second nature. You don't just wake up and...
Yeah.
No, that is true.
Like, you just don't wake up doing that.
You went to, like...
So, yeah, and that's what I respected about him. You remember when he was taking it outside, he was going to the park, he was working on his craft.
Yeah.
Because it's different. One time I was watching something, and it was like, everyone's complaining, I don't got a shot. But they take, you know, basketball players like Kobe, LeBron, even my brother here, not saying, hey, you know,
I'm not a great shooter.
They take the same shots, though.
I would like to.
But let's talk about the quantity of how many shots you've taken compared to me.
True.
Right? You've taken probably 10 times, 20 times, 100 times more shots than I have. You should be a better shooter.
True.
Now, Kobe and LeBron probably took thousands times more shots than you have, so they better be better shooters to a certain and then there's these variables of athletic ability and, you know, all these other natural stuff. But at the end of the day, hard work is what separates a good shooter from a bad shooter. You know, look at Kobe, look at Klay Thompson, look at all those guys who actually are in the gym putting this together.
I expected to know that.
You know,
he's playing a lot of 2K. You guys just did play 2K before this.
So hey,
that's true.
My shot got better, so
it did
something.
I mean,
that's true.
It did. I gotta see you on that real 5-on-5. I gotta see you on the real 5-on-5.
But what about you? What did you learn from basketball?
Honestly, man, just the initiative, like having that initiative. A lot of athletes don't have initiative, and as a coach, I mean, you know, I'm coaching, doing my thing, but one thing I'm noticing is that a lot of kids don't have this initiative. So it just taught me to, hey, you want to get playing time. Yeah. You want to be the second leader scorer on your team. You want to be the first. Go out there and practice, because not every time you're gonna have a practice partner or anything like that. So
you gotta take it to your own hand.
Oh, most stuff, man. And just getting creative. I'm a creative guy. I like to look people in the eyes when I'm playing basketball. If I look you in your eyes when I'm playing basketball, you're done. Don't look.
That's that competitive nature. That's just what separates us too, is that competitive nature. You know, like sometimes it's just whether I make a bet, whether I'm in the sport as one-on-one, whether I'm under pressure. It's that's when I really, you know, get in the mental state to really, you know, prepare myself to really level up. I don't know why, but it just happens.
I feel you.
You know, and so I really try to put myself in those positions to be ready. Cause yeah, it's cool if you can, you know, for high jump rate, if you can jump 7.5 when it's sunny out and no competition. But you know, when you have 3 guys with the same ability trying to jump on the day of, that's what really separates everyone. And it's crazy because there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of expectations.
Most definitely.
And you know, usually that bogs people down. And so honing in on that and being able to embrace that rather than being scared of it is what I love to do. It's just like embrace it. You know, give me those last attempts.
So I mean,
give me those chances to really prove that we can compete under pressure. Why not? You know, because too many people look at it with the opposite perspective. Like, I don't want to get put in this situation. Put me in that situation. Let me show you what's up.
Yeah, you all
know
for
what
it?
I'm saying? I'm all for it.
Coach.
Yes. Yes. I be asking for challenges. I'll never forget one time, even in football, I was so, confident in my ability of defense. Because I was offense when I went to high school. And so a lot of people doubted me coming off the line, me playing defense, because they didn't know my background. And so I said, Coach, I bet you something simple. I said, I bet you a Gatorade that I get past all these 15 guys. There was like all these linemen and blockers, and I was just on the line doing spins, doing swim moves, everything. And he's like, all right, bet, I'll take that bet. And at that time, Gatorade was like a huge thing. I really wanted a Gatorade. We had some hard practices, and it wasn't even about the Gatorade though. It was just the symbolic, like, hey, I'm gonna have to give something to you because you owe me something, right? And it's just like it was among elder too, to actually go out, buy something, and be like, man, I lost to that kid. So anyways, we're on the line. I took 15 guys out. And he owed me. He honestly
just took him out.
You took 15 guys out?
No, not at the same time. It's 1-on-1. So you line up, boom, get the ball. Boom, get the ball. So the coach has the ball back there. All you need to do is have about 5 to 10 seconds, get past the guy. So
I know what you do.
You talking about some Johnny tackle? I love that too. When it was one, because you remember Johnny? Have you ever did Johnny tackle?
If that's what
It's
I'm
like
thinking of, that's
sharks and
dangerous.
minnows with tackling.
What was the one that they put up the two things on the side, and then they had one running back and then 2 defenders, and you had to just either go in the middle.
Oh, I know. That's a drill.
That.
This was more fun. This was sharks and minnows, but just tackling. So everyone was right there.
In the practice before?
In the practice.
In this practice.
It was dangerous. People got hurt. At the end of practice, people got hurt. People got taken out. Think about you running full speed, there 15 guys, and someone just boom lays you out.
No, thank you.
But not everyone's looking for that atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone's looking for that atmosphere.
I mean, so that goes into how did sports? I mean, obviously, we have great accomplishments in track and field. But how did the sport help you with your personal development?
You mean track and field?
Like I said, I mean,
any sports?
Anything you want to mention. I mean, how
let
did it help you?
Let me tell you guys this story.
How did it help form this?
I'm gonna tell you. This is continuous being in the gym, continuous sports. Because you have to understand, there's 2 things about us, right?
Yeah.
We have athletic ability. We have God-given talent. We have genetics, but we also have not, or at least I haven't. I did 3 sports in middle school. I did 3 sports in high school. I did continuous, 20 to 30 hour weeks in college of just, training. And so if you look at it, I've never not been outside in the gym or, physically training.
Yeah.
And even if I wasn't, it was about, maybe a couple weeks to maybe a month of just, maybe not even just realization. It would still be training in there, but not as intense as most people. I'm talking 4 hours to maybe an hour 30. Those are the differences, So if we continuously train, so why wouldn't my body look like this? This is the input. I input hours.
Why wouldn't my body look like this?
No, seriously though, But the genetics and stuff obviously shapes it. But people, I don't have that body. I'll never get that body. Well,
so do you think that if you just stop working out, you think that your body would just let go? Because I don't think so.
I don't think it'll let go completely.
But I feel like you would see a change.
But I had surgery. I had surgery a little bit ago, and people, you got scared. What happened, Jonathan? People understand the difference.
Yeah.
Even you guys mentioned, or Rocco be coming at me. Our little brother Rocco says, Jonathan, you looking a little skinny. Now your older brother's catching up to you. And that's kind of.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta get up there.
People always come up to me, hey, see, you younger brother. I'm like, oh my gosh.
But
control.
What I had to talk to you, what you asked me though, is how the sport kind of personal development.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to tell a story about just last week. This little girl asked me, why should I do sports? It doesn't benefit you in any way. Because she was comparing grades to getting good grades and going to college. And for her, she couldn't process the benefits of what, sports overall does for a person. And so for me, I was like, man, that's actually a good question because all of the things that it had for me is like characteristic things. You know, as me as a person, it helped my characteristics, ambition, perseverance, understand those concepts, and then applying them to life. Like that's what it helped me. So if you ask me how sports really shaped me, it shaped me as a person with these characteristics of understanding where ambition takes you, where perseverance takes you, where hard work takes you, where motivation takes you, where focus takes you, not just motivation, intrinsic motivation. You know what I'm saying? The opposite from intrinsic and just the other types of motivations like trophies and things of that nature. And so understanding all those concepts at first and then applying them to life is like, man, you know, sports are literally kind of a little simulation of
How
life,
you can, yes.
of how you can
Yes, I was
successfully
just
life
actually talking to
in a
Coach Evans
completely
about that.
different form though.
Right.
But people don't understand that because they haven't, you know, been in as many sports as we have. Right? I've been in almost 5 different sports, and in every sport, I can tell you, you know, because in life you look at success, right, and you have all these other variables, right? You have family, you have work, you have problems, consequences, struggles, challenges. And in sports, you have the same exact things. You know what I'm saying? You have your support system, you have your enemies, you have your haters. And so it's like, how do you be successful in this environment? And then how do you be successful in this environment? And it's like a formula that you create within yourself. And so people are like, wow, how does, you know, this athlete, or why is being an athlete so important? And why are athletes so critical? Why are athletes so, you know, unique? Is because they've been working on that formula day in, day out. And so when they go out into the real world and they work for a company or they work for you or they work for me and I'm like, man, you've been able to do this. It's a kind of a special, you know what I'm saying? Like you see that special formula and then like they have that hard work, they have that on top of being a student. That's why they ask, what's so special about student athletes? It's just that formula we're building and we're continuously working on. And you can apply it and be successful in anything you do if you're successful in your sport. And honestly, the people who aren't successful in sports, it usually doesn't come down to talent. It comes down to that formula, you know, of mental state, of physical state, and all of it in between.
Most definitely.
Right? So, because what is physical state measured off of? You know, workouts. Whether you peak or don't peak. And everyone loves to talk about, oh, this guy peaked, this guy doesn't peak. For me, I don't necessarily believe in peaking at a young,
Okay, yeah,
at a young
I
age.
feel you.
You know what
you
I'm saying?
mean? What you mean?
At a young age. So, you know, people come into high school or college and say I peaked. You know? But for me, it's not really about peaking. Because yeah, there's certain ages where, you know, mentally you change, physically you change. But the peak from high school to college, it shouldn't matter. If you ran a 10, you know, because usually this is how recruitment works, and I'll tell you guys right now. What you run in high school, they think you might run in college. So whether you get better or worse, usually people jump 7 feet, 7'2", you know, 14'2", 14 flat. If you do the same exact thing at college, you will achieve something. You know what I'm saying? They don't look at you and be like, man, you're gonna have this exponential amount of growth.
I mean,
they're not
okay.
like crazy predictors, especially in our sports. Some sports maybe, but basketball players, they want impact right away. And even if they do see something, like, okay, you have potential, then either stay around that potential or you have gaps to really get there. They're not.
But you're just talking about those athletes that work, though, because I know some athletes that just go out there, good time, but then once they go to college, it's like a year-round thing. Now we're doing this year-round.
Yeah.
It's not just something that we can pop into in March and say,
And that's
hey.
what I say. That's why I say those type of guys, they have the mindset of automatically having an excuse like I peaked, instead of saying, okay, it's a different atmosphere. There's more variables. I need to adjust. And too many high school athletes don't want to adjust. Physically, they don't want to adjust. Mentally, they don't want to adjust.
So you think that when they say that I think I peaked, do you think that means that they don't want to sort of put in that next level work?
They're automatically, if
excuse.
they're in college saying they peaked, they automatically failed the mental game.
Right.
They automatically failed. If we have the conversation that you peaked and why you peaked, I'm not saying, you know, you're going to go out there and be terrible or you're not going to succeed, but I'm saying you already put yourself at a disadvantage.
Right.
Because you already told yourself, hey, I might have peaked. And honestly, you know, as I do more studies and, you know, look at people, what you tell yourself can impact your body. You know, so if you're an athlete out there and you're listening to this, you know, mental reps, all those things are so important because what you think can affect your body in a resting state. Yeah. And so, you know, if you're thinking, hey, I peaked, your body's gonna feel that kind of energy, and then you're gonna go out there and you're gonna output that energy, and it's gonna be a minimal energy.
Say energy.
Energy. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Oh,
I feel it, bro.
Yeah, but that's what I got with that.
I get that. How did it help you? How did sports help your personal growth?
Well, I
Help
mean,
your
it's
personal
just
development?
as simple as, you know, it just helped my grind. You know, just me just understanding that, you know, if I really want something, you know, I got to work for it. You know, me being a state champion, you know, my senior year, you know, that was a lot of hard work. You know, a lot of overtime, a lot of, you know, sweat, even blood. You know,
Senior year?
you can bleed in track.
Hey,
Believe it or
you
not.
talking about senior year?
I'm talking about senior year.
Take us through, you know.
How'd you
because-
bleed?
Well, I'll tell you how you bled. You don't remember?
Why you
Man, I'm gonna tell you what's so. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now why it was so impressive. And I want you to tell them too. Is, you know, my father talks about this too, of how Octavian, you know, he was so close to his first state, you know, in the 400, his first state championship indoors, and he literally failed within the, you know, 5-10
This is
meters.
indoor state. Probably the most embarrassing thing, but you know we got over it.
But
in
guess what?
due time.
Guess what? What happened? Talk to us about that mental transition and how you came back and got yourself an outdoor championship. Not just wait 1 second.
You know, believe it or not, you know, I'm kind of happy that happened because, you know, it just made me work harder outdoor. You know, I mean, obviously falling, you know, in front of probably like 100 plus people, you know, being embarrassed, you know, college coaches watching, you know, it's just not the best thing. But I mean, I just went back to the drawing boards, and I just kind of looked at everything. I just kind of looked at my, you know, what I want to do, you know. And
You could have gave up right there, didn't you?
yeah, I could have gave up. People were asking me, bro, are you depressed? Are you this? Are you that?
You don't be talking.
You
And
know?
people do though
Yeah.
get depressed. People do
Yeah,
take
it's
it
a
hard
real
on
thing.
themselves.
Mental health is real.
But then
Yeah.
it was your perspective. Like
Yeah.
this is an opportunity.
I mean, you know, but that's gonna happen in life. You know, sometimes in life you're gonna fall. You know, you're gonna, you know, have things in life where, you know, it's just not gonna go your way. And are you gonna give up? Are you gonna, you know, take the easy route? You know, I said no. You know, I said I'm gonna translate, you know, all that negative energy into positive energy and try to win this outdoor state championship. And I think that happened.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
But like,
I don't even think about it.
It did like a whole session too. You know, it was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
It was
that's-
great. It was great to
But
see.
it was good though.
That's
Definitely a blessing.
But you
talking
talking.
about the grind.
But no, what he was talking about though, about how that negative experience helps you beneficially, you know, and some people take that perspective. I think that's important. I think too many athletes and too many adults, too many students, too many go through this like, I got a bad grade on my test. I'm not smart enough. You know, instead of saying, I got a bad grade, I have something, you know, to base off of, and I can work up from this. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, because everyone gets kind of in this box of negativity once they fail, once they don't achieve something, instead of it being an opportunity to achieve something. And so Gary Vee, you know Gary Vee,
Yeah.
you know, motivational speaker. I think he said he's a
The
business
dude that
guy.
be cussing a lot.
Kinda.
Oh my, what do you mean kinda?
It goes through one ear out the other. I just really take the message, but basically what I'm trying to tell y'all is Gary Vee said he loves to lose. And I was like, what? That's weird to love to lose, but he's like, because losing, you know, when you actually do win, you know what a win feels like. You know, if you always win, you don't really, you kind of like take winning for granted. But he loses though, and he kind of, you know, takes that. He's like, this is how a win feels, and so every loss builds up to a more gratifying win. And so if you look at it like that, like, wow, that's
You don't tell
interesting.
people look him up now.
Hey, honestly, you know,
So we're
if
promoting
he's
people on our
swearing,
site.
it's not promoting people, but you know, you watch a lot of stuff out there,
I'm just
right?
kidding.
You gotta
Yeah.
teach them that you're educating
Yeah,
yourself. You're watching
self-education.
videos.
Yeah,
You know,
self-education.
you're looking at other people.
What's that?
I watch
Let's
everything.
not be greedy here. You know, I give everyone
I like
a shout
that.
out. You know,
I like that.
I give Dave Ramsey a shout out. I give Robert K a shout out. You know,
We're getting Major League shout outs. Who I want to shout out?
you know, great books out there.
God Almighty, give you a shout out. Thank you.
Hey, BTW.
BTW.
I mean, I think he means BTS.
Oh,
Behind.
I mean, we can have a session behind the wells. But
Nah, yeah, I was gonna switch it up. Nah, but for real, we got BTS shout outs.
WBU. This is
But no,
WBU.
it ain't about shout outs though, but I'm just saying that's kind of a method that someone out there is really telling millions of people, hey, losing is okay. And I think that's the message that, you know, is good to encourage, actually. The negative experience,
yeah,
embrace
definitely
it.
losing helps me. Losing helps me a lot.
It helps me learn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It helps
It
me
really helps me learn.
You can either learn or you can just get an attitude and be
Well, I'm
like,
not gonna go in there and say, hey man, I lost, I'm gonna be happy with it.
No, but you're gonna be like, I lost.
But I like to take something.
I'm not
from
gonna be
it.
pouty, you know,
Most def.
put my
Most
head
def.
down. You know, you're gonna be
But I
like,
don't know
you
about that. I like to lose.
What can I do to get better?
Maybe that's a little too
You know,
far.
I know exactly. So it has to come
But
up with the right
losing is
context.
beneficial.
Yes, it's beneficial. Yes.
Losing has
Most
the
definitely.
benefits and
Yes,
the
I like
negatives.
that. I like that approach.
I know.
Because I know he's not
Someone
waking
said,
up
I
every
like to-
morning. He's like,
I
I
like to
want to
lose.
take an L today.
Man.
What L can I take today? You know,
Someone else,
we don't live like that.
I forgot this other guy's name. I forgot this other guy's name too, but
Oh my
he was like, if you gonna lose fast. You know, like, don't lose during championship season. Like, you know, because think about a season. It starts
You're right.
off slow, it builds up. So if you're gonna lose,
Hey,
lose right away. Too many guys go out there and say, my first meet, I'm just gonna put it out there. Put it out there so you can actually
But
lose.
sometimes it takes that national
Sacrifice.
championship though, in order for you to learn. Because I mean, that's a point A example.
Fact.
I mean, I was winning races. The only competition I got was when I went to the national championship.
Yeah.
So when we talk about that, one time, twice falling on
But
the
if
last
you
hurdle.
had that championship meet, your first meet, right?
If I had those caliber of people, yes.
Exactly.
And that's why I got
so
my
now
junior
it's
year.
not your fault, but it's now telling programs that you need to give your kids the opportunity to compete with the best competitions right away, so they understand how to compete in that environment. Because it's not just like you wake up one day and you can just compete with the best. You have to continue to train and compete with the best
Most
on,
def.
you know, on the level.
That's why I like David, man, because I was like, oh, I gotta keep my form.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
gotta keep my form.
So you give
You
you give a shout out to David
Oh,
Kinsey.
what's
looks
that,
like, huh?
bro? You know, I
Hey,
love
shout out
racing.
to
I mean, I was
Dave,
D2, so when you think about going to meets where a D2 athlete's facing against D1, like, oh, I'm gonna show y'all, like, y'all missed out.
Yeah.
Y'all missed out on me. And then when I'm ramping them up, when I'm eating them up,
You had opportunities. We won't talk about. We had opportunities.
for what? But that money wasn't right though.
Yeah.
You talk about programs.
Be smart.
20%.
Be smart. Whether you
over 60,000.
Yeah, be smart.
Ain't nothing.
Be smart with these finances.
Everything
too.
happens for a reason.
Most
right?
definitely.
I did business in college. Be smart with these finances. You know, because colleges will take advantage of you. You know, they will take advantage. You are an athlete. You are an employee. They don't look at you. Some coaches are real genuine, and they will look at you as more than an athlete. They will look at you, you know, as even personally a son or something like that. That's cool. But most coaches is a business, and so put yourself in the position to do good business. And if you don't know how to do good business,
Where's my money at?
reach out to us.
Where's my
We're
money
gonna
at?
we're
I
gonna
like
put
that.
some
Reach
contact
out to
information
us.
out there. Reach out to us. We'll
How can they
help
reach
you
out to you now?
And we're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna put my email somewhere. Look below the link. There'll be my
Oh, man,
email.
dude.
There'll be my, you know, Twitter and my my Twitter. You know, inbox my Twitter. We do
I
that.
like that it taught you both things because to me, I mean, when I think about my personal development, man, I feel like it really taught me to do stuff different. Think outside the box. Everyone's trying to do the same thing. You have to realize we're all different people. What works for you may not work for me, but if I can change it and make it part of my life, make it part of my
So what's the big
habits.
change you made?
Big change is that, I mean, I had to work on my form. I mean, you know them pictures back in high school where I'm like, hurdle.
Even in the store.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the change that I had to make.
Yeah.
I had to take it outside the track.
And what do your friends tell you? It seemed like, you know, they were kind of hating because they didn't understand that.
Yeah, you know, I saw this line, you know, pretending line. You know, I don't know if you can see this line in front of the table, but, you know, I would have my backpack on, walking. I'm like, how can I implement this into my daily life? Because that's the only way it's going to make it a habit. So every time I saw a line, I'm gonna switch that mindset on, gonna think about the hurdle. Form, snap. All right, who's looking? Okay. I got my backpack on. I'm walking to class. I did not care because I wanted to be a national champion.
And then when
I
you
just
were?
wanted it.
Then when you were, all those people were like,
Hey, two-time national champion,
Right.
right?
Thank you,
Two-time
thank you,
national
thank you.
champion.
Yeah,
So we
national
gotta
champion.
let that known, right?
So yeah, it just really taught me to think outside the box, do stuff different. Don't be doing what everyone else does. If you're doing what everyone else does, and I mean, it's not achieving high results, you gotta separate yourself. You gotta separate yourself. Know what you want, know what you want to do different, and know how you can apply it. Okay, even when I was a little bit laggy, story, right? So I have this a little bit delay sometimes with starts. I was like, how can I practice this? Because obviously I can't get it every day in practice, right? I can't get it every day in practice. So I'm thinking, and I had two methods. Sometimes I would have the YouTube video of the actual Olympic starts on, and I'll close my eyes, and then once I heard it, boom, I'll react.
wow.
You know, and I know you hear the microwave stuff, but I'll put on the timer in the microwave, dance around. Once I sit in that 10-second mark, I'll just close my eyes. Because once you think about 10 seconds and you close your eyes, the concept of 10 seconds goes out. Because your method of how 10 seconds runs is different from how the machine runs it. So I'll just close my eyes. I'm just like, okay. React, don't anticipate. React, don't anticipate. Beep. You know, I'm reacting. You know? I'm reacting.
Honestly, I've never really heard of that though. But that is honestly kind of a good way to even put yourself in the atmosphere, envision yourself at the Olympic Games, envision yourself in the atmosphere. And so if you don't have that competition, that's a good way to put it too. Put yourself in that circumstance. Have those mental reps. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I had to do stuff different, and sure, it worked. It worked. That's why I told my kids it worked. Better be doing something different. If you're not, you ain't getting some laughs. What do you do?
Hey, and this guy is the head coach.
Right.
Not a head coach. I'm an assistant.
Oh, yeah,
I'm an
that
assistant.
is true. Hey, brother is thinking high of his brother, but you're gonna be head coach one day,
No
right?
stop. No
Is
stop. I'm
that-
gonna be ahead of a
is
lot
that-
of
That's
things.
what you want to be.
I'm gonna be ahead of a lot of
Right,
things.
because things
though.
change.
Exactly.
And so if you want to be a head coach right now, you're gonna be a head coach.
Nah, man. I'm
But if you do
I
not,
like what I,
you know,
if we can
don't
wake
see-
up and do this, and just talk about our experiences. Give me your paper. Give me that money.
Yeah. Come on, subscribe, follow, guys.
Yeah.
Help us. Help.
WBU.
Help.
We gonna do
Nah,
it
for
either
real.
way. We gonna do it either way.
We gonna
But
make it
that's
happen.
busted, So
But at the same time, you know, I think this is very beneficial. What you doing, BTS, you know
I
what I'm saying?
appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that, man. You had a little daily press on. We got radio, bro. We're all doing stuff different. When we come together, you don't know why.
Because it's all about helping others, you know?
Yeah.
That's why even when realizing why I did a sport in the first place, that was probably one of the hardest things. Like, why am I doing this? You know, am I doing this just for myself? And it got to a point where I really reflected, and the most enjoyable aspects of me performing at a high level and competing is really the impact it has on other people, right?
Yeah.
Like the people around
People are watching you.
the inspiration you spread, and that stuff is love. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I get some gratification. Everybody in the basketball scene. You remember that basketball scene?
Yeah, with Kobe.
Yeah, when he turns around and looks straight out.
Yeah. Oh, was that him?
That was
I thought that was the other kid.
No,
Colin
not even the
Sexton.
basketball one. Yeah, Colin
The Colin
Sexton.
Sexton
he's
where he,
like,
yeah. I was
Oh,
thinking
about
I was
Barnes
laughing,
Barnes and
bro.
Kobe.
I was laughing. Oh man. So you
with
had,
the ball shape.
and then you know they hold on. They trying to hype me up. You got Big Ten champion. Okay, 6th or 5th place at the UO's outdoors.
We got 6.
6, 7, 5. Okay, state champion. Loyola, D1. These are D1 athletes, bro.
Man.
D1 athletes, you know what I'm saying? 47-0. Okay. We about to get that 46.
It's been a lot. It's been a process. Why even stop at 45?
Why?
You never
Yeah.
know.
It depends on his ambition. Depends on where he wants to go. You know how he is with his radio stuff. You know he might have different ambitions, but he wants to be great in his.
Anything I do 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Believe that.
And sometimes they take us into a position because, like, you know, I've been dealing with injuries for a long time, and I've been having to compete on injuries. And my brother's been dealing with injuries, and you've dealt with injuries,
too, man.
and so I think a lot of people, because I remember, you know, one of my close friends, like Jonathan, they thought I was like indestructible, and I was like, man, I don't really release my story, but you know, I've had back injury, knee injury, foot injury, shoulder injury, back injury, rib injury. I've been in the, you know, I've been continuous in the, and so it was like, you know, injuries and all that is a progression, and so I think that's another thing that's key is like. Trust the process and go through that progression.
So, that's perfect. That goes into, you know, what the closing, you know. What's one advice that you'll give to these athletes?
Yeah.
What's one advice that you'll give to these athletes?
Man,
Man.
what advice, man.
You up or I'm up? You can get.
It seems like you were already on
ready.
the roll. What's up?
Well, right now,
Go.
yeah, right now.
Close your eyes.
Hey. Right now, I think the best advice I can give y'all, especially in my state right now, where I am right now. Now, if you catch me a week, maybe a month from now, I might have a different advice. But right now, what I'm feeling in this moment and in this life is that patience and understanding is key to taking you to the next level. So being patient, right? Like a lot of people want to see results real quick.
Yeah.
It just isn't realistic. You know, it takes time for your body to adjust. Even if you don't, even if your body doesn't, like let's say you ran the fastest time, you ran correctly, you ran the fastest time of your life. You could come out that race with an injury. And you were doing things right, but your body wasn't ready. And I think if we even break down that concept, that teaches us something. that it's a progression to get our body there, to actually put ourselves in the right position, and it takes time. You know, we can't just wake up one morning and just achieve something, and then if you do achieve it, you might be out for the next 2-3 weeks. You know, and so it's like a continuous progression. So understanding comes in too, because like you can't really truly be patient if you don't understand, right? And it is hard. So I kind of match those two because I say, hey, understand why being patient is so key. Understand why understanding the why to things is so key. You know what I'm saying? In order to elevate being patient. So all these things work together. You know, patience, understanding, perseverance, all these things tie together. And so once you start ripping in a little characteristic here, working on this, you start bringing in other key characteristics because all of them tie together. Without patience, understanding, you can't really persevere. You know, you can't really never give up.
You talking about word.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't patient, you'll probably give up. So
that's my word, bro.
It's continued.
Yeah, I gotta think. I guess you go.
Nah, I'm talking about your word though.
Nah. I mean,
Okay,
for me, it's something simple as just be you. You know, don't let anybody try to take you off your path. Don't let anybody try to change you. Don't let anybody if you got a system that works for you, do it. You know what I'm saying? And do it with confidence, do it with pride, and just turn up. Turn up because you only got one life, man. Turn up,
Man, I like it. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about that persevere, but one thing I want to say is know what you want. Know what you want, because let's be honest, when you want something, you know you're gonna give your full effort towards it. You know it. Okay? So know what you want, but understand you will be tested for what you want. You're gonna be tested. It's not like someone's gonna hand you a silver platter. Obviously, you know, you hear that phrase, but you will be tested. So once you get what you've accomplished, you'll be humble. You'll have gratitude because you say, hey, I work for that. I went through a lot of tests. I went through a lot of trials and tribulations. If I went through none, would you really appreciate what you accomplished?
Yeah.
I don't know. Would you really be grateful for what you've done?
Yeah.
I don't know. But going through those injuries, going through those changes in coaching helped me just to understand, man, I appreciate what I've done. I didn't realize it at the moment. I didn't realize that I'm a 2-time national champion. Shoot, I was working, but now I really realize, man, I was put through some tests. Okay, I was put through some tests, and I had to wake up and say, hey, let's go.
Only a 2-time national champion? Only,
man. I would have been a 4. But no excuses. I'm happy with the way my career ended. No excuses, man. I mean, life can go change either direction, but at the end of the day, a lot of people can't say that they're a 2-time, and I'm happy about that, and I thank God for that every day, man. Every time I try to tell these kids, I'm like, hey, I work for that. You know, I'm humbled by it. No matter what people say, you know, I'm humbled by it for sure. So that's what taught me, know what you want, but know that you're going to be tested.
I think being tested though is too many people are scared to be tested, or they're afraid to be tested, or they ain't ready to be tested. I think you should stay ready. Hey, when I'm speaking, don't be coming around.
Oh.
I think you should stay ready.
You talking to them? You talking to them?
I'm talking to them.
No.
But, that's why.
I'm talking to them right now. You know, because y'all ain't listening.
I'm listening, bro.
I know y'all paying attention, so I respect y'all. But these guys, show me some respect.
Every day.
My ears been open.
You know, let them know in the comments. Respect Jonathan. Let them know.
Respect C. Respect everybody, right?
Hey, nah, that's key. Yeah, that's key. Be respectful. Usually it gets turned back to you. You know what I'm saying?
I feel it.
Spread that respect.
I love it, bro. You don't know how excited I was to do this, man. You know how excited
Took a little time.
Took a little time,
you
bro.
know.
This is the energy.
We all over.
It's the energy that I want.
We all
It's
over.
the energy that we got to bring.
Yes.
All right. Anything you want to say? Anything you want to end off on?
Yeah.
What's up?
I like yours. I like Tavia. Be yourself. That's key. Because I think we all have this unique personality. And a lot of people will judge you for it. A lot of people come at you. And it's just do your thing. And I think being tested is key. One of those things is being tested and not changing because other people want you to change. You know, don't look into a mirror that other people are making for you.
Yes.
You know, look into your own
Don't be
mirror.
controlled. Don't be programmed.
Don't be a robot.
Yeah, man. That's real.
Have a mind. Think.
I think I even heard this other thing.
Please.
You know, I've been kind of referencing things because everything coming to my mind right now. But it was when people's images of you, because everyone doesn't know you probably know yourself more than other people, and even the closest people probably know some stuff about you, but you know holistically yourself.
Most definitely.
And so, but everyone takes parts of what other people think of themselves, and they build this broken mirror of what everyone thinks, and then they try to look at themselves in this broken mirror. And so, in this broken, dusty, dirty mirror of everyone's thoughts and perceptions of
Clean your
themselves.
mirror.
Clean
Get
your
some
mirror.
Windex.
You know, do your own
Stop
thing.
playing with yourself.
You know, yeah, exactly. So
Don't play yourself, right? That should be your phrase.
And
Stop playing
embrace the test.
Embrace the test, man.
Embrace the
Embrace the
pressure.
test.
Embrace the challenges. Embrace the negativity.
Embrace it, bro.
You know,
I like
you
it.
know, whining over it. You end up crying over it. It'll just stagnate. Don't live in stagnation.
How to stagnate? Can- This is the WBU, man. Wells Brothers United, family of champions. Whoa. All right. Coming back to you with more. Stay tuned, okay? That's all we try to do. We try to motivate, inspire, and tell our story. Because, hey, just because we win championships, just because we have all these accolades does not mean we didn't go through trials and tribulations.
Yes, sir.
WBU, signing out. Peace.